Hey everybody, this is video number 2. Today's video is going to be the first part in a 2-part video. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about self-talk and the chatter that goes on in our heads. And then tomorrow's video is going to be on the same topic. It'll be linked in with today. So I'm going to start by telling you a story from a book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And this is just one of my favourite books. It really helped me look at life in a completely different way. And in the book, Eckhart tells us a story about a woman he encounters. And he notices this woman and she's walking down the road and she's having a full-on conversation with herself. So he stops and he says to himself, God, look at that poor woman talking away to herself. She must be mad. And when he did that, he realised, oh, I'm talking to myself. Am I mad? And this is the day he realised that our thoughts are not who we are. That there's two people inside all of us. There's the talker, which is the ongoing chatter that goes on in our heads. And there's the listener. And the listener is the quiet in the background who's noticing all these conversations. And he believes the listener is who we really are. And he also realised that day that we can control our thoughts and we can control our self-talk. And that to me was brilliant because my self-talk was so negative. If I did something wrong or I made a mistake, I would beat the crap out of myself for days on end. And my thinking would jump all the way to the past. I could be doing anything. I could be washing the dishes, mopping the floor, and my head would jump back 10 years and I'd be going over a row that I had with somebody. And remember she said this, and remember he did that, and I should have said this, and blah, 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 right? I'm sure we've all been there. And then, or my head would jump to the future and I'd be trying to predict what's going to happen the next time I encounter these people, or there's an event coming up and I'm really nervous, and yeah, my thoughts are away with themselves, all right? So the idea that we could control this was huge to me. So what I learned from the book was that the first step in taking control of your self-talk and taking control of your thoughts is noticing when the negative talk has gone off on one. Noticing when you're back in the past or when you're in the future. Noticing it is the first step to changing it and taking control of it. Okay? So I'm going to take past and future first of all. So for me, if I've noticed, I've practiced this for years and I still do it. I still have to notice it. But the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So if you notice that you're in the past and you're having that conversation with the past and you're having an argument and you notice it and you go, oh, okay, where am I? I'm miles away. I'm back there. Bring yourself back. Say, okay, there is nothing that I can do to change what happened. I am not thinking about this anymore. And I visualize myself closing a door on it. I just close the door on that event or that time and I say, I'm not thinking about it anymore. There's nothing I can do to change it. And then I have to actively choose a new thought. So I have to think, okay, I'm not going to think about that anymore. What will I think about? And it might be, oh, you know what, I'm going to think about this book that I was reading, or I'm going to go and I might go, I'm going to go and do something and get my head thinking about something else or focused on something else. And it's the same with the future. If you notice that your head is in the future and you're trying to predict what's going to happen, or you're catastrophizing that this is going to be the worst thing in the whole world, again, notice it. Say, okay, I'm miles away. I'm in the future. I'm trying to predict stuff. And you can say to yourself, I cannot deal with that day until that day comes. And again, I visualize, I close the door on the day and I say, no, I am not going to think about that until I get there. So that's past and future thinking. For the self-talk, the negative self-talk, it's the same thing. You're not taking control of it. So it's gone off on one. It's saying, I can't believe you're late again. Oh my God, you're also saying you're bleeding useless. You're never going to change. And this can happen even when you're trying to achieve something. So I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks back, I started going running again to train for the mini marathon. And I've put on over a stone, I think, since my birthday last year in July. And when I was going to go out, I could hear it in myself. My thoughts went off and one, they were going, look at you, you fool. You're a size 14. You're over 13 stone. Who do you think you are? You are not going to be able to run 10k. Of course you're not going to be able to. And I had to notice it and go, hold on a minute. I wouldn't let a person sit in a room and talk to me the way I talk to myself in my head. I wouldn't. And anybody who knows me knows what I do to that person. So the best example of what to do, and because I'm not even gonna describe it, I'm gonna leave a link. The best example for what to do for the negative self-talk was a thing called the poisonous parrot. And I just thought it was the best way. I could never explain it to you as well as it's explained in the poisonous parrot. So what I'll do is I'll leave the link underneath this. If I can find it, I'll leave the link underneath the video. So the message today is you are not your thoughts. So you don't have to beat yourself up about all the bad thoughts you've had or the bad ideas and stuff like that. That's not who you are. And then when you're in the past or you're in the future or you're having a little negative rant at yourself, you can control that. Noticing it is the first step. Then you close the door on it and you actively choose a new thought. And I hope you like the poisonous parrot because I loved it. And tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about when we do take control of the voice, how we can use that to be our best friend. All right, so have a great day. Bye.